probably heard that you just need more practice to get thumb independence, but what if that's the wrong advice? Most players get stuck not because of time, but because they're doing the wrong mechanics and they don't even know it. Now the style we're talking about today is something I like to call boom chuck. And Tommy Emmanuel calls it boom chick. Most people call it Travis picking. And what I've learned over the last 10 years of teaching finger picking in this style and a bunch of other styles is that most players, beginners, intermediates, and advanced players that are trying this style, boom chuck, are missing a huge piece of the puzzle. The best way for you to understand this is for us to watch some of the masters together. I'm gonna point out a lot of the things that they're doing that you might have missed, and then I'm gonna show you what you're probably doing wrong, and then the easy solution to fix it. So let's jump in. Let's first check out one of the greatest players ever, Tommy Emmanuel. This is a really fun clip of Tommy Emmanuel playing Windy and Warm live. Let's check it out. The reason I chose this video is because it's really fun, but also Tommy is noticing that the crowd is singing along. He's singing the melody, so it makes it really clear of what he's doing with his thumb. That's what we're gonna concentrate on. Now, what I want you to listen for this time is when he does the boom and the chuck part, I want you to listen for the chuck part being a chord like this. Boom, chuck, boom, chuck, boom, chuck, boom, chuck. It's not just bass note, single note, bass note, single note. That's one of the biggest misconceptions. Let's check that out. Listen carefully for the chuck as a chord. You can hear it especially when he stops playing the melody because he notices that the crowd is singing. So he starts playing the melody. Now he's just doing boom chuck. Okay, now it goes by really fast, so I want you to listen one more time. Listen for bass note and then chord. It's a small chord, right? You can hear me doing it now too. Listen. Are you hearing that? Bass chord. Okay, it is not just bass, 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 bass. It actually goes bass, chord, alternating bass, then next chord. That's the pattern of boom chuck. It is always like that and it never changes. And some people might be thinking, well, sometimes he's just hitting a single note. Yes, you're right. Sometimes he hits a single note, but in general, it's going to be bass, chord, bass, chord. You have to have your mindset set to do that for these next steps to make sense. Let's move on to the next video. Now in this one, this is Chet Atkins playing Mr. Sandman, and I'm gonna point out something else, this time with the right hand technique. Now, they're all gonna be doing the boom chuck, how I just described, bass, chord, but this time I want you to pay attention to what his right thumb actually looks like. Okay. Right now, you probably don't know what you're looking for, so let me point it out. So what I want you to notice here, see the angle of his thumb right here. So you can see my mouse. See the angle of his thumb, right? The angle, the break angle of where his joint is on this part of his thumb. I want you to watch how his thumb basically stays in this kind of stiff position, and it's not bending at this joint here, or it's not bending at this joint either. It's staying stiff. Now notice my right hand thumb, it's not really moving at the joint, right? The thumb is being propelled by the power of the arm a little bit and the actual weight of the hand, okay? So you're never gonna see the thumb bend like this. Let's watch Chet do it. Watch the thumb, it's staying pretty much straight. The angle of the joints are never really changing, if you can see that, okay? So that's the other clue that you need to do. That's one of the things that you're most likely doing wrong. Let's watch another video. I'm going to point out that same thing. This is Merle Travis. It's going to be really easy to start seeing this with the more examples. So I want you to watch this time. Watch his thumb. Watch how its thumb is not bending at that joint. Let's get back to the beginning. Before, okay? See how the thumb is staying relatively stiff? It's not bending at the joint at all. It's staying relatively stiff. You can also notice that his wrist is pulsing. The weight of his hand is helping that chuck part. Watch.
Just a little too heavy.
See it bouncing?
For my size.
It's a slight motion, but you can definitely see it. And then with his version, you can really hear the big chuck that he's doing, okay? One more example. Doc Watson playing Deep River Blues. Watch the angle of his thumb. Is he breaking at his knuckle? In a moment, it's going to show his right hand.
And the fish all go out on a spree when I get them Deep River Blues.
Okay, right hand, here it comes. Watch that thumb. Okay, those joints are not bending, see? The whole motion is propelled by the big muscles of the thumb and not the small muscles that control moving that one joint that I showed you earlier.
If my boat sinks with me, gonna
listen for the big chuck.
Don't you see, Lord, I got them Deep River Blues. Now I'm gone.
Okay, this is what I see almost all the time when people start. Is they will bend their thumb. This is the worst one I see, is bending the thumb at the end knuckle, this motion, okay? If you're doing this motion, it's literally near impossible to get a good chuck. Just try it. If you're doing that motion, right, you'll find the chuck part impossible to play the chord. And so if you've heard me say that before and you're like, well, it's impossible to play the chord, it won't work. It's because your mechanic is wrong, okay? So instead, what you got to do, keep your thumb stiff like this, like you're giving a thumbs up, right? And it's basically going to stay in that motion, and then it's going to propel the weight of the hand, this big part of your thumb, this muscle here that controls moving your whole thumb like this, not moving these joints, not this joint here, or this joint here, okay? Neither of those joints move. It's that the whole thumb moves like this. That's a huge muscle in your hand. It's the biggest muscle in your hand. That's how you're gonna be able to achieve this thumb independence, okay? Going like this. So here's the simple exercise you gotta do. Do more chuck. Just simply set up like this. Start with an E chord like this, and then play boom, chuck, boom, chuck. Exaggerate the chuck part. Okay? Big motions. The more you exaggerate it, the faster progress is going to be. So you're basically going to have to reprogram your hand to use this mechanic instead of the mechanic that you've been using. If you do that, you will have perfect technique. There's no way that you can bend that joint and actually get more than even 1 or 2 strings, right? If you keep your thumb stiff, you can go through and make huge chucks. Start that way, train your hand the right way, and then you're actually going to give yourself a chance to achieve real thumb independence. Another thing that you got to know is if you've been playing classical music, if you've been playing other styles of finger picking, every single genre, boom chuck, classical, modern styles, even jazz or flamenco, they all have different mechanics. They all have different ways that you have to set your hand up. If you're interested in learning more about how these different genres affect the way that you should approach your mechanics, then you should check out my course, Your Fingerstyle Guide. I go through every style of fingerstyle guitar from basic finger picking all the way to modern fingerstyle, including a lot of cool elements like percussion. All that cool and fun stuff, it's available to you. You can do this as long as you know the right path to take. Check out my course, links in the description. Hope to see you there, but I'll see you on the next one for sure.